And now it's time for The Late Show with your host, PattyJack.
How's it going, everyone? I'm that socially awkward gamer you probably forgot existed, otherwise known as PattyJack. Welcome to The Late Night Show with PattyJack. Should I keep that name? I don't think I'm ever gonna decide whether I want to or not. Joining me today, introduce yourself, sir, because I don't really know how to introduce you, to be honest. I'm pretty lazy in that regard. I don't research my guests.
I still haven't figured out how I'm going to introduce myself either. I think I'm just going to wing it, like, right this second. So, hey, everyone, my name's Alec, the artist formerly known as the Merciless Walrus, or soon-to-be back known. I really don't know, but I used to make video games, put them on the internet, tended to be more Fallout and RPG-related, but I kind of crossed the spectrum. I just graduated college a week ago, so that's been a big part of where my time has been sinking into.
Yeah, boy, internet college graduating brofist. We both just did that.
Oh, okay. Is that the only time we're going to say brofist in this video? I think we should limit it to, like, 3 times max.
Can we bump it up to 5? I want to get, like, a kill streak of brofists.
Alright, we can do 5.
Okay.
But
I want more than a UAV strike.
That's fair. You got to get that mortar, or whatever it is these days.
Wasn't it? What was Dogs? Was that 7 back in the day?
Well, it depends what... Yeah, the original Dogs was 7, but then in Black Ops it was 11, and kill streaks have really gone down the shitter ever since they, kept making games.
Do they still have kill streaks? I thought Call of Duty was basically just what, like, Blacklight Retribution was 4 years ago.
I don't know, but we're going to talk... we didn't even mention it in the pre-show, but...
Do you want to go into Call of Duty
trailer?
You want to go into Call of Duty? Let's go into Call of Duty right now.
I just want to talk about the trailer, not even, like...
Yeah, let's do it.
Dislikes.
I made a video on the trailer, and so I'm down with it. Let's do it.
It's the second most disliked video ever. Like, how does a trailer have that happen to it? There has to be such an intense amount of hate for a franchise to surpass Rebecca Black's Friday for dislikes.
You know, the sad part is I don't think that's the case. I think people just got on the dislike train because Call of Duty fans, they see like, someone told me this was stupid, therefore I hate it, until I get the option to buy it, and now I'm just gonna get it.
That's a good point. I will say, I didn't watch the entire trailer, and I disliked it anyway, so I'm part of the problem. But the little bit I did see, and I saw comparisons, apparently one of the death animations of someone getting shot in the trailer is a carbon copy of the same animation in Call of Duty 4, so from what I hear, it just reeks of laziness.
Speaking of Call of Duty 4, you didn't get that far in the trailer, did you?
The remastered thing, right?
Yeah, that's another reason people are pissed.
That would be a reason to buy the game, and the only good reason to buy the game.
And see, that's why a lot of people are angry about it, though, because the only way you can get it is if you buy the game.
It's smart.
You can't buy it on its own. It is smart, and they're going to make a crap ton of money, but how do you piss off your consumers? Well, you could just go ahead and ask Activision. Because you don't want to make me pay $70 for a game just because I want to get the bonus game on it.
Yeah, that's rough. I mean, count on Activision to find ways to squeeze money out of its fans' pockets as cringeworthy as possible.
You know,
they managed to do it.
Yeah, I was watching Jim Sterling's video about it, though, and he pointed out something that Activision generally, and the Call of Duty franchise, actually hasn't been that bad for that when you think about it, though. I mean, they release their game, they have their collector's editions with their RC cars and everything, right? But they never really had that, that Battlefield level of you need to get, this premium pass and everything, you know? They have their season pass with the DLC, but they never went full out with the premium stuff.
Well, it's funny you say that, because the only reason Activision might not look like the devil is because EA might be worse.
Might be. I don't think that's a question at all. I've given up on them after Battlefront.
Well, I mean, so yeah, I got that, and I was grossly disappointed.
I can't play that unless... No, hold on. I can't play that game unless I convince the internet that I'm from Peoria, Illinois. Seriously. I'm salty, man. The salt levels are rising.
I'm salty too. I really had high expectations because I loved the original ones. Star Wars Battlefront 2 was one of my favorite games a long time ago on PS2. But they found a way to mess this up a little bit. But the game, they were close, at least.
So
They almost had a great game.
Yeah, like everything except the actual gameplay was perfect, in my opinion. It looks like Star Wars, it sounds like Star Wars. It has the best sound design since Bad Company 2,
100%.
in my opinion. And then you just play the game, and you're like, oh.
No campaign, though. What?
I know!
Who decided that?
Boardroom,
You've got one of the richest
people.
lores in like any kind of franchise in history. You can go in so many directions, and they're like, nah, we're just gonna have multiplayer and like a bunch of dumb single player maps.
Hey man, in the same vein, where is like the X-Wing sequel and stuff, like the modern day like flight simulator for Star Wars? Why?
It's owned by Disney now. I've lost all faith. I'll still pay to see the movies, but like my faith is deteriorated.
Yeah. Okay, what did you actually think about the Call of Duty trailer? Like,
no, I mean, I'm not going to buy the game. I haven't bought the last 2 Call of Duty games, so I am like pretty out of the series at this point. I think they tried to build so much hype without actually like adding anything. They're just like, it's all the other Call of Duties. It looks the same except it's in space.
See, that actually got me excited though. I was actually like, oh yeah, I could get into this.
Because I played the recent one a little bit, and it's like the same thing, but they added jump packs, and it's like, I don't know. It was a novelty at first that was kind of cool, but after a while, like, it just looked kind of silly.
I actually ended up buying Black Ops 3 when it was on Steam for that like 1 week period where you could get just the multiplayer version of it.
Ooh,
did you ever look into that?
That's a good buy.
You could pay $15 or whatever, $15-$20, I can't remember, and just get the multiplayer. You couldn't level up your character completely, but you could still like get all the weapons and stuff, right? So I played that. I got that and I played it and I was like, yeah, this is kind of fun. It's actually worth the money. I would never pay $60 for it. So if they release that again, I would check it out, right? And I was actually I was like, you know what? This is actually something I could support because they're trying something different. They're trying to get some, like the PC crowd especially, who's super stingy about that type of thing, into their game. Yeah, I'll try it out. I'll give it a shot. And honestly, I had fun. I didn't get more than $15, $20 worth of fun, but I had fun, and that's what counts.
I will counter by saying that all the crapping on Activision and EA that we've been doing this past 5 to 10 minutes or however long it's been, the one company that I see regularly trying to do right is Steam. And they're the ones that it was on Steam, right?
Yeah.
I would attribute that good deal to Steam, not to the Call of Duty franchise. That doesn't happen on console.
I don't know. I find Steam to be very hands-off about a lot of things. I'm salty about the mods, but the mod fiasco, like last year or whatever, 2 years ago now, I don't even know. Oh, that was a whole thing that I had to deal with. I guess I'm mostly salty at the community about that, though, to be entirely honest.
Same.
They were like, oh, we don't want to ever pay for mods in any situation, even if it actually kind of makes sense. Well, guys, if people pay for mods, that means people can make better mods.
That's exactly. I didn't think the rationale was that bad. I think usually Steam has at least had somewhat of a customer-focused strategy, even if they're not actively addressing the problems on a day-to-day basis. When they change something dramatic, it's not just a strict business decision to make money. It actually has some rationale. So they still have my respect for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm still buying my games off Steam. I'm not going to stop doing that anytime soon. I try not to if I can, though, considering that buying games in Canada, $60 games are actually like $70 nowadays. For like that's the regular edition. So, Green Man Gaming's my friend anytime I can swing it. I don't care if I don't get the return policy. Yeah. Oh my god, speaking of returns and releases, Homefront. Have you seen anything about that?
I have, but, like, what do you think? I want to hear your thoughts first, because I haven't even really formulated a full opinion on it.
I am so distraught, because...
Okay, yeah, that's...
unlike most other people, I really liked the original game.
I liked it, too. I think
there was problems with it. There were so many... Yeah. There were problems with it. It wasn't the greatest looker. There was a lot of online connectivity issues. The campaign was short, but I still enjoyed playing it.
It was it wasn't a high budget game, so that's gonna happen.
Yeah, and I was so hyped for this one because I was like, I actually made an entire video saying like, yeah, I think this game actually has the potential to be good, and it was looking good and everything. And then I heard that all the reviews were embargoed until the day of release. As soon as that happened, I was like, oh, well, I think something's going down here. And lo and behold, that game is that's a bit of a mess.
Yeah.
I guess it has I guess it is good. It's just that it was released in that Arkham Knight state where it just feels incomplete, you know?
Yeah.
And I guess you would attribute that to being not good. I mean, I probably would, but it bothers me the most when games have a good solid outing behind them. Like there's obviously some effort put into making this game the way they wanted to, but they just didn't have the time to do it. Or maybe they didn't care. And it saddens me because I actually really liked the franchise. I liked the direction they were going. I thought that they were going to kind of take one of THQ's, what they tried to be franchises in their later years, and kind of say, hey, this can actually work. Good for you, THQ. You had an idea, but apparently that's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's another weird development company.
Yeah, Deep Silver.
They've been off their game for a little while now. They kind of fallen behind I guess what we'll call the major developers.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that Dam Buster, which is the developer that actually made Homefront, which is part of Deep Silver, that was it was their first game too. So yeah. I don't know what was going on, but obviously someone was not, planning everything out right. Maybe because it's a newer studio, they gave someone the reins who shouldn't have had the reins, and things happened. Who knows? Maybe it'll be like Colonial Marines, and we'll figure out that all the money that's supposed to go to that game just went to Saints Row 5.
Yeah, more or less. And you can't really blame them. It's more of an established franchise, and it has dildo weapons, so it's got that going for it.
See, if Homefront had dildo weapons, I think the reviews would be much better.
They literally just replaced knives with sharp.
Yeah, they don't even mention it.
Objects.
Don't even mention it. Just have it in the game.
No
totally references. Agree. Or it's all knives were confiscated and all toothbrushes were too, so you couldn't sharpen a toothbrush into a shiv, so they had to work with what they had. And I
think this has a lot of promise.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, what else has been going on that you want to touch on? What have you been playing lately?
Ooh, well, I mean, the past month I hadn't been touching too much. I guess Hearthstone's the only thing that I was actively touching, aside from the occasional NBA 2K. And Hearthstone, so coming as an old school Magic player, it was definitely a bit of a leap, but I've come to love it just because of how fluid the platform is. I haven't had a connectivity issue in quite a while. The game's fast. It's super addicting, as I'm sure you know.
You can pump out just round after round after round in an hour period. I love it.
Yeah, no, It's a nice thing when I have 20 to 30 minutes of free time. Hey, yeah, I have time for a couple games or so.
Yeah, and that's kind of what my gaming is right now. I mean, people, I said this in the last podcast too, people would assume that you make YouTube videos, you must game all the time. No. No, man. When I'm making these videos, that takes a good probably 2 hours out of my day, right? Before that, I'm working 6 to 8 hours, get home, do that. Then have a little bit of time to myself to do something else, then eat dinner, and then watch a show and go to bed. That's life.
You pretty much said my average day, especially back when I was making videos regularly. The actual playing the game to get the footage, maybe I play for an hour, but putting the video together is more 2 hours, including the uploading and setting that all up. Minimum 2 hours, so it's a much bigger time sink than you realize, unless you actually do it. Then you're very familiar with the amount of effort that goes in, especially if you want to do any editing. It's one thing to just upload raw live commentary, which I've definitely been guilty of doing from time to time, but if you want it to be actually looking somewhat professional, that's a time sink.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. If I upload a Let's Play, it's been a busy day.
Yeah.
That's really the reality of it. If I have time on my hands, I'll be doing an abridged video or something, but that means an hour of recording footage, right? and then dragging it all into my editing software, and then going through it, recording my voiceovers over it, cutting it down, putting it all together, and then going back afterwards and putting in small edits, and it can take up to 4 hours. And
yeah, I've
sometimes I'll do it in a day. It's like how do I even find the time? And then you go and render it out, or if I've been having this terrible issue lately where I try to render something in 1080p, and right at the end of it, after like 40 minutes, it just says like system low on memory, and it doesn't render out the last part of my video.
Well, I think that means you actually need to just delete a lot of stuff off your hard drive.
No, and I do. No, but then I restart the program and render it out again, and it's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know, and the hard drive I'm rendering it onto has like nothing on it. It's a separate one.
Okay.
And I
wish I knew more about computers to help you, but
I feel like I need to download more RAM.
That might actually be it.
Yeah.
Couldn't hurt to try.
I wonder if that's on an actual website, download more RAM. I know you can go to it. And there is like a joke website or something, and then you download something and it calls you like an idiot, or I don't know. Something weird like that.
Well, if it did exist, I really hope the creator of that website would have the URL be rammeplease.com.
Oh my god, I love that.
Ram me. I think there's a lot of potential there. Whether it's a joke or not, it's the future of the internet.
All right, well, on that note, I think we're going to head into a break. When we come back, do you want to dive into some Hearthstone?
Yeah, we can talk about that game.
That's a slippery slope, and it's going to lead into a pit of nothingness as we go back into it.
We'll tread carefully. I'll make sure we don't get too lost in that abyss.
All right, well, we will be right back after this commercial break, so stick around.
Do you hate cats? PattyJack does. No kidding, that's a bad cat! That's why when you subscribe to IAmPattyJack, you are guaranteed a 100% cat-free zone. Don't let those feline get you down. Subscribe to IAmPattyJack today and show them who's boss. Because cats are assholes. Play me off, keyboard cat. Yo, what's up, my crunky funky homies? Okay, I'm never gonna say that again. What I will say though is that you probably think paying $70 plus for games nowadays is totally whack, yo. But there is a solution. If you head over to greenmangaming.com and use the code IAmPattyJack, you can save 20% on a ton of gaming titles. Just copy the code in the description and use it during your checkout phase, and you are sailing. Yo, yeah, that's what's up. Okay, I'm done. Everyone loves zombie survival games. Too bad for you, none of them are finished. That's why I took it upon myself to create SkyZ, the premier zombie survival let's play on YouTube. What makes it so great? Apart from my award-winning voice and personality, it features undead monsters, engaging stories, hardcore parkour, and a creamy ranch dressing. Okay, I lied about the dressing. SkyZ, the only thing featuring zombies that isn't in early access. Did you know I have a Steam group? Probably not, because there's only 19 people in it. Jerks. Check out The Socially Awkward Gamer on Steam for access to forums, questions, video updates, Steam Curator, open lobbies, and more. Head on over to steamcommunity.com/group/The Socially Awkward Gamer. Link in the description. Go do it. Oh yeah! Alright, welcome back everyone. Hope you enjoyed those commercials. I worked very hard on those, except the one that wasn't my commercial and was a YouTube commercial. But, you know, thanks for giving me money, unless you have ad block, you sorry son of a bitch.
Ooh, fighting words coming out.
Fighting words happening. Alright, so, coming back, you said you wanted to talk about some Hearthstone, or I hinted at it. I don't remember these things.
Yeah, we can do that. I mean, a new set came out somewhat recently. I guess we can quickly jump into that.
Yeah, the new set and just the general changes in how Hearthstone works, really. So yeah, let's go into that. What do you think about the what is it called? The Whispers of the Old Gods?
That is what it has been named. I think it's fine. It's not my favorite expansion they've released, but I think what's more important with it is its place in Standard, because have you even touched the Wild format?
That's all I've been doing.
Really? Okay.
I can't.
I haven't.
No,
played
man.
as much of it.
I have one. You know me, and I make stupid decks, right? So I
Right.
want all the options I can.
That's
And
fair.
like my one deck that I actually use and I think is good, which is still a homebrew deck, still relies a lot on GVG. So basically my entire the only thing I'm doing right now is wild. I might drop into standard, but if I do, I'm gonna have to like homebrew a deck out of the cards I'm allowed to use, which it feels like is gonna be a bit harder. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, so I've barely touched Wild, and I've kind of been scared away from it because the notion we've gotten from Blizzard is that they're going to be tuning and adjusting cards in order to make standard balanced, and Wild is exactly that. There is going to be some very degenerate stuff that's just allowed there, and I'm kind of scared of running into that.
See, I think that's hilarious, but that's because we play Hearthstone very differently and for very different reasons.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, I do definitely do the occasional just random brew. I just don't spend quite enough time, and I definitely don't record enough for it to be quite worthwhile for my own amusement. But
it's like I've never had the goal to get past rank 15. If I get to 16, 15, I'm like, okay, cool, I'm good. That's fine. I'll stay where I belong.
yeah, I think my average place is between rank 10 and 5 in any given season. Never made Legend, though. I'm not nearly that committed to this game.
I believe you could do it. All you need is one good night. There was one night I got to like rank 13 by doing the Randuin Rin deck.
Okay.
And it's because for like 5 matchups straight, I face warriors. And
Oof. Well, I mean, yeah, if you play enough, like you're gonna get good matchups occasionally.
and it's like, but playing a warrior with that deck, you just like everything they try to play, your RNG kills it somehow, and then they end up just like waiting out the clock because you don't have a good early game in that. So I just somehow my RNG just countered everything they did. This warriors against random stuff doesn't work, and I love it. So yeah, where do you think this expansion ranks in terms of like all the other ones that have come out so far?
So are we including the ones that are like stories and like quests?
Yeah,
'Cause,
everything.
I mean, I like those a lot.
I think pound for pound, they've probably had the best cards, personally.
Oh, well, I mean, part of that's because Naxxramas was just broken as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Sludge Belcher alone, one of the best cards ever released.
Yeah.
Like, it's just really good. And there was just a ton of obscene Death Rattle stuff. Same with Goblins vs. Gnomes. Like, they didn't realize that Death Rattle is just very good.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think, yeah, that's part of the reason I'm doing wild mode still. When I look at, like, my favorite deck, I'm still using, like, Spectral Knight. I'm using Sludge Belcher, Thorasan, Loatheb, like, all these cards that are from those, like, solo ones. I think
Thorasan is still around.
Yeah, oh, he is? Yeah, he is.
In
right,
standard.
Okay, well, I still want Loatheb, because he's fun.
Oh, well, you don't need Loatheb as much anymore because a lot of the really strong spell decks either got nerfed or aren't really feasible anymore.
Well,
like,
it's not
Druid
about...
doesn't even play as many spells anymore.
Yeah, it's not, to me, it's not about getting rid of, like, big spells. It's like slowing down a Warlock or a Hunter or something, you know?
Okay.
So, like, so the Hunter can't use his kill command, or the Warlock doesn't just Hellfire my board.
That's fair.
If that makes sense. And
well, Hellfire seems pretty bad against the deck you're talking about.
Well, it does. It depends what I get out there, because a lot of that deck relies on, like, I have like unstable portals in there or something, right? So then I'll get a random ass minion, play that, then duplicate it twice, and end up with like 7 Dreadsteeds or something stupid.
Right.
It happens more often than you think. Or if you end up getting 5 Loathebs. Yeah.
Oh my god. Well, Duplicate's a fun one.
Duplicate and then put them all out and then Echo of Medivh them.
Echo, yeah, that's a fair card.
It's my favorite thing in the world, man.
What, you have never Echo of Medivh to Reno? You're not living life if you haven't done that.
I think I've gotten him
duplicating a Reno. Like,
see, I don't have the card, but I've gotten him before, and then I think I have had more than one.
It feels very degenerate.
Yeah.
I will tell you that much.
Dude, duplicating any card like that is stupid as hell. Like doing that to like Sneeds or something. They can't get rid of it.
Sneeds is, well, they could hex it, and Hex makes
but then I play
look really bad.
But then I play more.
That's fair.
And then they're gonna have to kill one eventually, and then I'll get like another Sneeds out of that.
Yeah. But to answer your question, as far as the best set, I really like the ones with quests a lot.
Yeah.
I just think they add so much more flavor, and like the difference is though, like this last one, like Whispers of the Old Gods, I spent $0 on just because I had enough dust to get what I wanted. Whereas those other ones you're paying for it, so it makes sense that they're better. So like I really don't know where I stand. I really liked the Grand Tournament.
See, I didn't. That was my least favorite one, and that's the one I've probably used the cards of the least of all of them. And I don't know, because I dropped the $50 on that one, and that actually kind of turned me off because I don't use a lot of the cards. I always go back to like the solo expansions or the GVG stuff. I don't know.
You don't play enough Priest, I guess. Priest really got a buff from that.
Because when I do Priest, I just do the random deck.
Okay.
So that would explain a lot about it.
That's fair. Yeah. But yeah, no, I play a fair amount of Priest and Grand Tournament. I mean, Justicar, True Heart on its own made Priest viable.
Yeah.
That is a really, really stupid. Like, you drop that against Hunter, and they might as well concede on the spot.
I like making Hunters concede. It's my favorite thing. I run Kazan just for that to happen.
Yeah, that sounds about right. It's anything to upset a Hunter is going to put a smile on my face.
Yeah.
But as far as, I mean, the big thing, and we haven't even touched on it with the Whispers of the Old Gods, is the Old Gods. And, I mean, Cthulhu, you haven't really touched Standard, but he's pretty omnipresent.
He's all over, he's all over Wild too, man. Seriously.
Oh, he is?
It is very much probably the most played deck that I've played against in the last little while. Honestly, though, it doesn't match well up against my deck, so I wouldn't say it's bad. It's just that my cards that I usually use kind of counter it naturally, or it's hard for him to get rid of my cards because I usually run a lot of like higher health things.
Right.
So it's hard to get rid of.
For me, since I'm mainly rolling with Priest on the ladder for Standard, needless to say, Entomb is a pretty good answer to Cthulhu.
Yeah.
Nice Cthulhu, let me have it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I generally don't have problems with it, but it's the other ones that I like. N'Zoth, I actually have seen quite a bit of, especially in Rogues, because they have so many good death rattles, and like most of the death rattles were in GVG and Naxxramas, and those are gone. So I can only imagine how absurd N'Zoth is if you can get like a Sneeds or I don't even know like what's the nastiest stuff you can get in Wild off.
I can't. I've run into N'Zoth like maybe 3 times to be honest. It's been all Cthulhu for me. I haven't even seen him work that well.
In Standard, I think Rogue is the only one that's gotten him to work pretty well. But like they'll put because they've got the Raptor that can copy the Death Rattle. They'll run that 4-mana 1/1 that pops out a 5/5. They'll run Sylvanas. So they've got a lot of good targets for it. But I mean, if you can get like something really high on the curve, like a Tyrion, good lord. Mm-hmm. Tyrion coming off of that seems not particularly fair.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, you think that's enough Hearthstone? You think I've scared away all my viewers yet?
Well, that's the whole reason we put in the table of contents. They can skip it.
Yeah, that's going to be the plan from now on. All right, you had one other topic that you wanted to touch on. We didn't really talk about it, so I don't really know where you want to go with it. I'm just going to let you go with it if that's cool. Let's take it away.
So I occasionally check in on YouTube, see how it's doing, see how some of the larger YouTubers are doing, some of the smaller ones that I used to follow a little more frequently, and these past 2 to 3 months have really stuck out to me as the entire community devolving into this, and I don't want to call it drama-oriented because that's been so overused and so thrown around these past few weeks, but it really is. People are focusing a lot not on the actual content creation, but what's going on behind the scenes and the actual, like, demeanor and character of these people, unlike they ever have before. And I'm scared of where it's going. Like, I don't know. Where do you stand on this?
I think that it's going to settle down, and it's just kind of a big uproar that's happening right now, to be honest. I've stayed away from literally all of it. I mean,
Yeah.
when it's something big, like you hear about, like, you know, like rape allegations or something, you know, like I want to know about that because that's, like, you know, actually newsworthy. But
Right.
other times it just comes down to, like, oh, this guy's talking shit about this guy on Twitter.
That's more so what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. Like when it comes to, again, like a rape allegation, that's something that should come out. The
Yeah.
community should know who those people are, so they can actually have an accurate view of them. But what I'm really talking about is the second thing you said, the like pointing fingers at each other and just talking shit for the sake of it and trying to start something. I didn't even look into it because I really don't care, but apparently PewDiePie, what's the big FIFA guy?
I know the one.
They have some
guy you're
kind
talking
of
about.
beef,
Yeah.
and I don't get it. Why? They're not even competing in the same exact realms. They don't play
Yeah.
the same games. And then like you've got these. Well, I don't know where I stand on the prank channels because some of those are pretty fucked up.
I just think prank channels as a whole are kind of dying anyways, and I'm glad to see them go.
Yeah.
I don't know. Prank channels I was never entertained by.
Neither was I.
I don't mind them if they're just pranks. Even if they're fake pranks, that's fine. But it's when the pranks go into these like really weird situations, you know? Like the ones where the guys is like, you know, like it's called a prank. It doesn't even make any sense. Where like the guys is like making out with women he finds on Craigslist, right?
Right. Yeah, there's so
Like
many
that's just not a
parts.
prank. That's just
Yeah.
like that's just a guy capitalizing on 12-year-olds that need to pop a chub, right? I mean, that's the reality of it.
Pretty much. I mean, I just think all aspects of that community is just pretty disgusting. I really don't care about fake pranks, but it bothers me when people focus so much on it. Like, sure, like it's nice to know what's real and not, but at the end of the day, that's not what we should be fixating on. There's bigger issues to be focusing on. And I guess it's not so much the drama that's bothering me, but where the community's focusing its attention. It's like there's all these little things like these random beefs. I do know that some big YouTubers have been accused of plagiarism, and depending on how big that is, like I don't know. I think some of these have easier solutions than just starting wars between subscriber bases of separate channels.
Yeah, and I know that some people, they point these things out, and then the viewers kind of go on, they obviously have a mind of their own, right? It ends up being that hive mind thing, but there is, at this point, we need to be a lot more vigilant about what we put out there. You know, we can't be calling people out publicly about it. We should be trying to contact them privately and everything, you know? It's like if someone stole a joke of mine, like blatantly, you know, and it happens to people sometimes, right?
Yeah.
You should be asking them about it, and if not, like, I don't know, to me, stealing one joke isn't that big a deal. I might, like, throw a comment. I don't even know how
I've
I'd
had
handle
videos
that.
of mine stolen before.
Yeah.
There was
Oh,
a
yeah,
Skyrim
yeah.
video of a glitch I found where I forget what it was, but like I paralyzed a giant and then he just flew into the sky, like just spinning and ran, like it was crazy.
Yeah.
And I uploaded it as like a 20-second clip and got, I don't know, maybe 10,000 views. Then I see it uploaded on some other like large channel that uploads like 50 videos a day and it gets like 2 to 3 times as many views. And it was only a one-of instance, but I just happened to found that because it got a good number of views and I think it appeared in the related videos. But like who knows how often it actually happens.
It happens all the time. I mean, I found entire, like, channels set up that have literally just re-uploaded half my videos.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
sounds about right.
Granted, they don't get any views, but I still, you know, do my best to kind of get those, like, kind of shoved under the rug.
Yeah, well,
like,
I mean,
I don't
it'd be
mind.
really annoying if you put in work to your videos and then, like, it's one thing if they give you credit, like, that's totally fine, but more often than not, that's not what they're going for. They're
Yeah,
going for
and-
free, effortless views.
Yeah, and even, like, if you want to, like, re-upload some of my content or a part of a video or something because you think it's funny, by all means. Like, that's cool. If you want to, like, include some of my footage in a video you're making, Absolutely. The only thing I ask is that you ask me first. I'm very easy to get in contact with, and I'll say, yeah, go do it. Just don't upload the entire video because that's dumb and that doesn't help me in any way.
Yep.
That's a one-way street, and it's like you deal with that all the time. But I think there are definitely more mature ways to handle it. And as much as I hate to bring up YouTube's copyright system, it is there for a reason, you know. So you need to be able to know how to deal with that.
Yeah, it's gotten better, too, from what I hear. They've actually gotten, especially for the gameplay stuff, where people get strikes for things that they really shouldn't be. From what I hear, they've actually started to move back on those and even take away wrongfully given strikes. So yeah. I'm happy to hear that they've gotten better with that, because I know a few years ago when I was more active, it was a big concern.
It's still a bit of a concern, but right now what they're doing, I believe they're withholding the actual monetary gain on views if someone copyrights your content. Okay. So it used to be like if I uploaded a video and then some Japanese company claimed it for some stupid reason, right? Or just because they could, then they would get the money generated from those views that I got while they had claimed it. Mm-hmm. But now they're holding it for that month that you have to dispute it. So if you dispute it and win within that month, then you get the revenue for the views, which is really good because that never used to happen.
That's a good system. That's how it should have worked this whole time.
Yes. So they're getting there, and we can only hope that it doesn't mean that we should stop complaining about it, because there are definitely things that can be improved, and I will, if there's anything that can be improved, I'm gonna say it, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that's completely fair. I'm not going to be yelling at them, being like, "Oh, your service is terrible." I'm just saying, "Hey guys, we gotta fix this. We gotta make sure that this is fair for everyone."
Yeah.
Even for the companies that do get their content stolen, and there are times when copyright strikes are warranted. Mm-hmm. But the system just needs to be fair all across the board.
Yeah, fair use has a pretty specific definition, and it looks like they're actually applying that definition rather than a more broad attack on anything that may or may not be close to copywritten content.
Yeah, exactly. All right, anything else you want to touch on regarding this topic?
I think we made a nice transition going from strictly negativity to actually like a more positive note, so that feels like something good to leave on.
That is great. Yeah, we know we like to progress on this show.
Yeah, there's no despite the fact that it's got its problems, I can't strictly shit on YouTube without giving them credit.
Oh, I thought you were shitting on my show for a second. Despite the show's problems, like, dude.
Despite this show's problems, you made a big step forward by inviting someone as prestigious as myself. So I think you're making the right steps.
I need someone that can keep up with me. I mean, to be honest, all my other guests have been pretty crap. I'm kidding. Don't hate me, people. I want
Shots fired.
People, I want you back on my show still. I need guests. I'm desperate.
Patty is not holding back any punches, much like what was his name? I know Batista was on the receiving end.
Oh, we're getting the reference in there. I'm so excited. Baseball.
Yeah. Can we just quickly? I don't know how many of the people listening to this follow baseball here in America.
I assume this is legit news, though. It was on. I think it was all over the news.
America. One of the teams was Canadian.
Yeah. Our one baseball team.
No, it's legit news. It's like it happens maybe once every 10 years, something like this. If you haven't looked it up, I forget what the other guy's name was, but this guy Jose Batista on the Toronto Blue Jays had a dirty slide into second base, and the two teams already had bad blood. And the second or baseman or the shortstop, whichever it was, got up, pushed him. They had a little confrontation, just popped him in the cheek.
Yeah, buddy.
Then the whole dugouts clear out. Everyone's like brawling in the middle of the field. It was wild.
Dude, it's great. Yeah, you don't see it every day.
It makes me want to watch more baseball.
Yeah, if that happened every day, I think the rules of baseball should be adjusted now to include like NHL fights. That'd be great. I want to see an umpire fight a pitcher.
It was a dirty punch. Like the guy on the receiving end had no opportunity to retaliate.
Yeah.
He was instantly dragged away. So I felt bad. Like he got popped pretty hard too.
Yeah. So Batista is like a big deal here in Canada.
Oh yeah,
because he's like he's the star player of that team, right? So They were
I
running
think he might be the second best. You also have that Donaldson guy.
Yeah.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, they were running his promotion last year at Booster Juice. I don't know, is Booster Juice a thing in the States? I don't...
Booster Juice sounds like an offshoot word for semen.
Yes, and that's kind of where I'm going with this.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
That was just a shot in the dark.
Yeah. Ha, shot in the dark. Okay. Booster Juice is like a smoothie franchise in Canada. Again, I don't know. It could be in the States, could be in part of the States, whatever. Right?
We have smoothie places.
Yes. So you know what they are then, like an Orange Julius type place, or whatever. And they were running a promotion with Batista, and they were running this like custom smoothie for him. And you just mentioned that Booster Juice sounds a little bit raunchy, right? Yeah. Well, the smoothie for Bautista was called the Bautista Blast.
I like where this is going.
And that's it. But people were buying this thing, man. You be seeing everyone going up to Booster Juice and be like, yeah, I'll have a Bautista Blast. Oh, man.
That's great.
It was my favorite thing in the world. It was a damn good smoothie, too.
I'm sure it was. I mean, at least it makes somewhat sense.
Dude, I could not get it. I had to have a Bautista Blast.
I'd love to get blasted by a Bautista. I mean, have a Bautista Blast. That's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
We don't know. Maybe he was just in the back of the Booster Juice and just kind of like, you know.
Yeah, he was just having a good time and trying to please the fans, if you know what I'm saying.
Extra shot of protein?
Yeah, why not? Good for the teeth.
Ugh. I'm going to end it off there if that's cool with you. I don't think we want to go any further with that conversation.
Well, yeah. I think that's probably all that needs to be said.
Okay, I would love to thank all you guys for tuning into the podcast, but I'm not going to because you're terrible. Just kidding. Thanks, guys, for tuning in and listening to me. And, Alec, would you like...
Whoa,
hold on. I was getting there.
Whoa, hold sec. Time out. All right, time out. Go ahead.
No one cares. Alec, would you like to promote yourself in any way, shape, or form? I don't really know what you're doing, to be honest.
So yeah. I'm in a weird state of flux. So I graduated a week ago, and I'm starting work in a week and a half or 2 weeks. So, like, I've got a pretty narrow window, but I will be moving into New York City, most likely Manhattan.
New York, New York.
New York, New York.
That's exciting.
Yeah, so once I get my place set up, I would like to return to making videos. Obviously, living on campus the past few years, it's been tough. The recording environment has been far from ideal. Hopefully having my own place will actually give me a bit more flexibility, although having a 9-to-5 job may eliminate all of that flexibility I'm getting, so it's up in the air. But my channel is the Merciless Walrus, not to be confused with the infamous Marcellus Wallace of Pulp Fiction. People don't always get that.
You look very similar.
What does Marcellus Wallace look like? Does he look like a bitch? Why'd you try to fuck him like a bitch?
So he looks like you. Burn.
No, Marcellus Wallace is black and bald. Two things that I am not.
We don't know. They might never see a picture of you. You could be.
God, I hope I'm not bald. I haven't looked in the mirror in quite some time.
I'm quite glad you went the bald route instead of the other route there.
No, I'm pretty sure I'm not black. I would have figured that out by now. I would at the very least be better at basketball, I think. Statistically speaking, it seems probable, but who knows?
All right, we're going to end it off there. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys.
I could have made it so much worse. Dude, you had to cut me off.
It's coolsies. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. I've said that like 3 times now. And Alec thanks you too, I guess.
Oh. Thanks for tuning in, folks. You stay classy.
Have a wonderful day, everyone.